What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of NBA Best Bets here on the Cowbell Kingdom Basketball Zone YouTube channel. I'm your host, Vince Miracle, and man, today was just such a unique day for me because, I mean, if you guys weren't paying attention to yesterday's show, we had a very rough day yesterday. You know, the double dips did not go in our way. We took some risks, because we are up on the year and still up even after that very rough day. But, you can't always be perfect. And, we had a gentleman's sweep the day prior. So today, we're looking to have a bounce back. But, I brought something here today. I brought this today. Because, man, it's been rough. It's been rough trying to figure this all out and figure out how exactly I wanted to bounce back after such a rough one, and there's only a few games today, and one of them being canceled. So before we jump into today's games, and before we start making our picks, I want to remind everyone that this show is sponsored by FanDuel.com. Everyone go to FanDuel.com, whether it's for the sportsbook or for the FanDuel DFS. Be sure to sign up using promo code KingsCourt. That's right. Use the promo code to my podcast, KingsCourt, and they will match up to $500 of your very first deposit. And guys, if this is your first time watching this video, first off, welcome. Second, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more of this type of content, and be sure to knock that bell right there on the right side so you know that exactly when these videos are getting popped up. Now, with that all the way, guys, let's go ahead and jump right on into today's games. Like I said, one of the games being canceled, so we only have a 3-day slate. First game up, we have the Philadelphia 76ers, and this is arguably the best game of the day. We have the Philadelphia 76ers on the road as 5.5-point underdogs to the Brooklyn Nets, who are getting back Kevin Durant and LaMarcus Aldridge in that game, and I believe that is huge. I think that's such a big factor in this game, knowing that not only has James Harden started to play well, they have in shape, back to normal, MVP caliber James Harden back since he's gotten back from health and safety protocols, and he has been running this team. He is playing phenomenally now. Now you're going to add Kevin Durant, and you're adding LaMarcus Aldridge, their starting center, who's been putting up numbers. Now, I do believe that Joel Embiid is going to play fantastic today. He has such a great matchup against LaMarcus Aldridge, against Nick Claxton, against Blake Griffin. I do feel like he's going to have himself a day, and I do believe that Tobias Harris should have himself a night. The defense of the Nets has still not been there, but they are the number one team in the East for a reason. And at 5.5 points, having Harden on such a hot streak, getting back Kevin Durant, getting back LaMarcus Aldridge, bringing back these healthy bodies, I like the home team Brooklyn Nets here at -5.5. The over-under started actually pretty low. It was at 218 and it's kind of trickled up a little bit now to 221.5. Now, I'm not going to be betting this, and I don't want you guys to put this on my record, but this was something that I was noting, and I am looking at the under at 221.5. Now, a lot of people are going on the over. 81% of money is moving toward that over. And again, it started at 218, so it's understandable that the money would move this line from 218 to 221.5. The reason why I'm kind of against it, however, is the Sixers have kind of struggled on the road to keep up with much pace. They try to dictate the pace, and they try to play very slow in their half-court sets. They are better in the half-court than those up-and-down games. So I do think that the Sixers are going to be a more one-dimensional offense. Get the ball to Joel Embiid, have him do his low-post work, mid-range work, and occasionally get that pick and pop three. I think they're going to rely heavily on Maxey and Tobias Harris to drive to the basket and push the ball in driving kicks. But man, 221.5, I still feel like that's high for this type of game. And there's a possibility here that the Nets could potentially blow out this Sixers team now that they are getting their healthy bodies. But we do like the Brooklyn Nets here at -5.5. And guys, we're going to take that for 1.5 units. So that's right. We're jumping right back into it, guys. 1.5 units, -5.5. We like that there for the Brooklyn Nets. We move on now to the next game, and this game to me is probably one of the worst games on the night. Just due to the fact that we just saw it, and it's the Orlando Magic hosting the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks being the 14.5-point favorites. Orlando just lost their starting center in Robin Lopez, and they're already out Mo Bamba. They're out Cole Anthony. It's going to be the Wendell Carter Jr., Franz Wagner show. Look, Franz Wagner has played phenomenally. He could have 30-plus points. RJ Hampton could have himself a night. I still don't think they have enough to keep up with this Milwaukee Bucks team. Do I like this bet? Not necessarily, but at minus 14.5, you ride with that home team favorite and just or that road team favorite and just see what happens. The over-under is sitting at 217.5, meaning I don't think that they think this is going to be a high-scoring game by any means. I mean, having over 200 points, they're saying both teams are going to get over 100. I'm still kind of leaning toward the under on that as well because I don't believe Milwaukee's going to let them score. Orlando tried to make a push for a comeback in the latter half of that game against Milwaukee in the last one, so maybe more people should consider that plus 14.5. But I think after being punched in the mouth like that, Holiday needing to step his game up in the fourth quarter and letting Orlando stick around, I doubt that happens. So you know what I'm going to do, guys? Because we're trying to make a bounce back here, we're going to do the minus 14.5 for the Milwaukee Bucks for a unit, and we're going to go under 217.5 on the total score. So that's going to be 2 units in one game, but 1 unit on minus 14.5 for the Bucks and 1 unit on under 217.5. And lastly, guys, and I actually believe this game is going to be very interesting. I like this game quite a bit. It's the Cleveland Cavaliers as plus 4.5, plus 3.5 to the Washington Wizards. So the Wizards 3.5-point favorites at home. No word yet on if Bradley Beal is going to play, but obviously the Cleveland Cavaliers had a big blow to their team in their last night out against their Pelicans because they lost Ricky Rubio for the season with that ACL tear. They're already down Colin Sexton for the season, I believe for that same exact reason, and now Garland's out in health and safety protocol. So it's next man up mentality. They just got Evan Mobley back, so you're going to see a lot of Mobley tonight. Lauri Markkanen, Kevin Love, Denzel Valentine, who I believe is a strong FanDuel DFS play today. Again, promo code KingsCourt. But look, guys, minus 3.5 with a potential chance that Bradley Beal is playing. And even if he doesn't play, I do believe guys like Kyle Kuzma and even Corey Crisper or Schofield and Darius Garland and Denny Avdia. I just feel like these guys, Davis Bertans, I just feel like the Wizards have so many guys that they can throw at them to where there's some scoring punch to them. And the Wizards have been significantly impressive defensively at times. Now, I'm not saying consistently. They're not the greatest team in the world at 17-17. The Cavs are 20-14. So I believe the Cavs are obviously being underlooked here. But if Bradley, you're kind of paying the premium here at minus 3.5, and I do think that the hook could get you. But whether the big thing for me is I think they're already letting you know that with the hook, with that half point there, saying if Beal plays and you have it at minus 3.5, I mean that's a good bet regardless. But if Beal does play, it probably turns into minus 5.5 just because of what type of talent Bradley Beal is. Now, if Bradley Beal doesn't play, maybe you go toward Cleveland. And that's why I felt like this game was a very fun to break down and figure out where I'd want to go. At the end of the day, I think the loss of a starting point guard to facilitate the offense and just still Daniel Gafford playing so well defensively down low, Kyle Kuzma playing defensively well and offensively going to get a bigger workload. And Denny Avdia also being a good passer from that forward spot, I think we could see some pretty nice play from these guys. Now, look, you have veterans over there in Cleveland, however, in Kevin Love, in Lauri Markkanen, in the rookie, Evan Mobley, Denzel Valentine. So you start breaking it down in your head, you're like, which way do you want to go? Again, I've been having such a hard time. This is what took me so long to want to make this video is which way am I going to turn when the spread is telling you Bradley Beal is still questionable. right? -3.5. Bradley Beal is questionable, and that's where I'm having my issue. That's where I'm having my issues. But ultimately, I decided to roll with the Cavs. I think the Cavs are real. I think that Kevin Love has played well since getting extended minutes, and he's a good passer. And I think that they're going to use him as that. I think they're going to use a lot of Denzel Valentine in this game. And I think Isaac Okoro is going to have such a significant role as that shooting guard now, to where, what could he do? We had a span of games before he went into health and safety protocols where he was averaging 15, 16 points per game with like 3 assists. The team is capable of moving the ball. This team has been good because everyone has stepped up when needed. Now, don't get it twisted. Colin Sexton was a scoring. The young bull was a scoring threat. Darius Garland, man, he's been phenomenal all-star this year. Not having him in health and safety protocols definitely is a blow. And then losing Ricky Rubio, who wasn't shooting the ball all that well, but was just playing phenomenally defensively, getting almost 2 steals a game, 7 assists per game. Yes, that is a big blow. But as a whole, I think the team has just plenty of talent to match up everywhere. And if the Wizards are going to be without Raul Neto, Spencer Dinwiddie, and health and safety protocols, I think you take the road dogs here at +4.5 and feel strongly about it. And you're paying, on this end, the hopes that Beal doesn't play, right? You have to hope that Beal doesn't play. It's hard. I mean, I think the spread is perfect. But that's where, you see these perfect lines, and then this is where you make or break your money. Because, I mean, the Bucks game, we're kind of going for a reach, right? 14.5 is a lot of points, but they were up by so much. You ride with that road favorite in the Bucks. It's the Bucks, and Orlando has nobody. They're losing players still to COVID. You look at the Nets, -5.5. They're at home. You automatically knew that they were going to be 2.5-point favorites just for being the home team. Then they get Kevin Durant. Then they get LaMarcus Aldridge. Then you see Harden's playing so well. We like that there. We're actually going to up that bet, by the way, at the end of this show. But it was this game here. This is where I feel like this is going to be the make or break of our money. And I'm going to roll with the Cavs here at +4.5. I'm going to take the points. Oh, by the way, it did switch to 4.5. So when I hit refresh, and that's why it was blinking, it said 3.5. It goes to 4.5. So that is the final spread of this game. Cavs +4.5 to the Washington Wizards. I like that. I think that means they do believe Bradley Beal is going to play. So you're going to see a lineup possibly of Bradley Beal. Oh, this just makes it even more complicated. Let me make sure that there's no update here, guys. This is live show recordings because I contemplate these type of things because I have my against the spread looks. I'm looking at the money, and the money is actually like moving here quite a bit. So initially when I first started looking at where the money was going, about 72% of it was going to Cleveland at +3.5. Now +4.5, it's at 63%, and people are moving toward Washington. So, and again, I try not to look at this too much to see what's going to happen here, but yeah, I don't see much of a updated news on if Bradley Beal is going to play. So, look, guys, I'm rolling with the Cavs. I think the Cavs just have size down low to go up against Gafford. I think that they can out-rebound this team. I think they can still play fast even without their starting point guards. We're okay with +4.5 here, and, we're going to take that for a unit. Just one. I think that this is just too big of a coin flip of a game. I can fully, and if you're going to go on the other side, I think you bet bigger than one. I'll say that. If you believe that Bradley Beal is 100% playing, or you find out that Bradley Beal is playing, and maybe you guys are on one of those sites where they let you cancel the game before you put in your ticket, right? Let you put in your ticket, and you can cancel once you hear the news. Maybe you guys want to do it that way. But for me, my money, I stick it, don't look at it, kind of like I do with my stocks. I like +4.5. I like the Cleveland Cavaliers on the road here with against the Washington Wizards, so we'll roll with it that way. And that is going to be our show, guys. Very tough road to figure out which way we were going to go with our money. But look, I was following the money. I was looking where people were going. I was trying to get the injury reports in. I was trying to see who was in, who was out, if anyone was going to be cleared for health and safety protocols, or if they were going to do what Dallas did, any of these teams, and bring in Isaiah Thomas hours before tip-off, and then he's in the rotation, and that could make a significant difference there. So just to review, I do have the Brooklyn Nets at -5.5, and we're going to up that, guys. We're going to up that quite a bit. We're going to move that to 2 units. So that we go from 1.5 to 2 full units. That's a significant bet, especially since the Sixers are a pretty good team, 2 games over 500. I just believe that the Nets are that good, though. When they're healthy, they're a scary team. I like the Brooklyn Nets here at -5.5 for 2 units. We're going to take the Milwaukee Bucks for 1 unit at -14.5, but then we're also going to throw 1 unit at under 217.5. So we're going to go under 217.5 with -14.5 for the Milwaukee Bucks. And lastly, guys, for just 1 unit, we're going to take +4.5 for the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're playing it pretty modest today, but trying to make a little bit of it back. Hopefully getting the sweep here today. Maybe at least just getting that. We really want this Brooklyn Nets game. And we're not reaching. I mean, just look at the matchup base wise. That Brooklyn game is going to be the best game of the night. It's the first game that tips off at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the game where we're going to make a majority of it back. We're going to go 2 whole units again on -5.5 there. And we'll see how it goes. So I want to thank you guys all for tuning into the show. Again, if you guys like this content and you enjoyed what you've seen today, please hit that subscribe button and let me know. Are you riding with me? Are you fading with me? Go ahead and leave it down in the comments section below, and we can discuss it leading into the tips. Also, guys, this show is sponsored by FanDuel.com. Shout out to our sponsor, FanDuel. Be sure to use promo code KIngsCourt when signing up with them. And remember, Kings Court, and they'll match up to $500 of that very first deposit. I've been your host today. Once again, my name is Vincent Miracle. You guys can follow me on all social media platforms of @VMCenter. The website, the YouTube channel @Cowbell_Kingdom on all social media platforms. I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck today. We're back at it again in the new year. This is our final show heading into the weekend, so please take these in. Start that studying. I should have that Excel coming in soon. Look, guys, one streak ended doesn't mean another one can't begin. We're pushing through, guys, into the New Year's, and I'll see you all in 2022. Good luck and peace.